All right, so let's continue on with our talk, and we're going to talk about the law of syllogism next. All right, so this is another good law that we're going to use in our proof writing. So for the law of syllogism, it's a law that gives you two true conditionals, with the conclusion of the first being the hypothesis of the second. And then the idea that there is a third true conditional having the hypothesis of the first and the conclusion of the second. Now that's a lot of words, so it's best described right here, right? So you're given two true conditionals, if P then Q and if Q then R. So because those are both true, you can kind of connect the P to the R. So I think of this as the transitive property, right? If you remember that from, I think, the very first lesson with segments and angles, right? The transitive property. So we know that if P, then Q is true, and we know if Q, then R is true. What that means is Q is our middleman, right? We're going to cut the middleman out, and we're going to directly connect the hypothesis of the first with the conclusion of the second. If P, then R, right? And that's what we're doing here. Okay, so you'll see that it's going to involve a lot of if-thens. All right, so let's take a look. All right. Example 3, apply the law of syllogism to draw conclusions. Assume that the set of conditions is true. What can you conclude using the law of syllogism? So A, if Kenji plays the trumpet, then he plays a brass instrument. If he plays a brass instrument, he is a member of the marching band. These are two conditional statements. Conditional 1, if he plays the trumpet, P, then he plays a brass instrument, Q. Conditional 2, if he plays a brass instrument, that's Q again, then he is a member of the marching band. There's R. So what we're going to do is we're going to cross off the Q's. That means we're not going to talk about the brass instrument at all. We're going to connect the fact that Kenji playing a trumpet means he's a member of the marching band. And that's our conclusion. If Kenji plays the trumpet, then he is a member of the marching band. And that's our big conclusion. Okay, part B says if points A, B, and C are collinear and B is between A and C, then ray BA and ray BC are opposite rays. So that's just the definition of opposite rays, right? If ray BA and BC are opposite rays, then AB plus BC equals AC. What can you conclude? So again, here's your two conditionals. Here's the, not Q, sorry. That would be P, the whole collinear point and B being between. Then here's your Q. Ray BA and ray BC are opposite rays. Here's your Q again, ray BA and BC are opposite rays, and then here's your R, right? So again, we're going to cross off the Q's. So we're not going to talk about the opposite rays at all. We're going to link P, this idea of being collinear and between A and C, with the segment addition postulate idea. So we're going to say if points A, B, and C, that's a comma, are collinear, and B is between A and C, then AB plus BC equals AC. And that's our big conclusion using the law of syllogism. Okay, last but not least, here's our colossal problem. Apply the laws of detachment and syllogism. What conclusions can you draw from the following statements? If you are climbing a mountain at an altitude of 28,500 feet or higher, then you are on the tallest mountain above sea level on Earth. That's a conditional, right? If then. If you're on the tallest mountain above sea level on Earth, then you are on Mount Everest. That's another conditional. You are climbing a mountain at an altitude of 29,000 feet. That is just the statement. So I see a perfect law of syllogism to start this, right? So I see if P, then Q. Then I see if Q, then R, right? So we're going to cross off the Q's. We're not going to talk about the fact that this is the tallest mountain above sea level, blah, 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 blah. We're going to talk the fact that if you are climbing a mountain at an altitude of 28,500 feet or higher, then you are on Mount Everest. Then you are on Mount Everest. Okay, so that is the using the law of syllogism to connect the first two. So this was using the law of syllogism. Law of syllogism. But now, if we take into account this remaining statement that we really haven't used, right? You now have a conditional here, and we'll use the P's and R's. If P, then R. But this right here, the fact that you're at an altitude of 29,000 feet, that is 28,000 feet or more, right? So 29,000 feet is more than that. So that means that P is true. And again, it's because 29,000 is more than 28,500. So that means that R in this statement is also going to be true. And what that means is that you are on Mount Everest. So I can conclude that you are on Mount Everest. And this part was by detachment, law of detachment, law of detachment. Okay. So that is an example of using both in one example. And again, you could have done it the other way. You could have used the law of detachment first and then the law of syllogism second. I followed the order of the problem. All right, great. So thanks for watching this video, and we'll see you next time.